I've been on top for a while. NASA chip it to the moon. Fast car make gon' vroom vroom. Take it to the boom boom room.
Welcome everybody.
I'm a visionary. I got the niggas scared.
Of the Rhody Rumble
Bought
podcast.
a big paddock with the brand new
Been a
wrist
little flaky, up and down, mixed matching schedules. You know what I mean? Nothing's really lined up, so we kind of been independent for the last two podcasts. But we're back now. We got a special guest, Mr. Lorenzo Bryant. What up, Zoe?
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Of course. So Lorenzo is a 30th year senior. No, I'm joking. This is year number 6 for Zoe with the Rhode Island football team, University of Rhode Island. He's a running back. He's played everywhere though. Safety, linebacker, running back, and used in many different spots and situations. He's from Trenton, New Jersey. He is a product of Jersey. He's proud to say it. He loves Jersey. He's going to be the governor one day. You never know. But yeah, Lorenzo Bryant. Zoe, how are you today?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, very grateful to be on this podcast today. Tell you guys some of my history and my steps moving forward. So looking forward to some good conversation with you guys today.
We're super excited to have you. Adam, you want to start it off with our number one question?
For sure. So a question we normally like to ask all the guests that come on is, what motivates you? What is your why?
It's a great question. I feel like I have multiple, but if I had to hone in on one, of course, call it cliche, my family and the ones that support me every day. But I also want to do it because, I feel like my why is to inspire other people. So I feel like to be given this opportunity, to be given this stage, I want to do everything I can with it. So I'm healthy. I wake up every day, able-bodied. My why is to go and show people that you can do it too, that there's so many ways to touch people in life for the better. So to go out there, put everything I have and prepare and show people that there's so much more than to just football. So to be great in everything you do. So I would say that's my why, is to inspire other people on a daily basis.
That's funny that you said that, because I know me, you, and James Maxim are having a little conversation in the locker room about, would you rather be great at one thing and suck at everything else? And all joking aside, like, there's so many different avenues to be great, and as long as you put your best foot forward, good things are gonna happen.
Right.
So let's start it off, man. Bring it back. So you're junior, senior in high school. College recruiting's going around. Talk us the steps that brought you to Rhode Island, and kind of what happened in the recruiting process for you.
Well, the recruiting process was interesting. Junior, senior in high school, I was actually ranked. Different reports had different listings, but for the time being, a couple reports in New Jersey ranked me as number 1 running back, and others had me at 2nd or 3rd. But top 3 running back in New Jersey, all across the board. And, I went to some good schools in Central Jersey. I went to Notre Dame Catholic, who plays in the Big North for playoffs. And I went to Hopewell Valley High School. It was a public school, but they're actually being a household name now. They won a couple of state championships and had great seasons, broke records. And my top 3 at the time were Rutgers, Virginia, and in the talk between other schools. I actually got in a little bit of trouble with some coaches. Nothing major, but some like verbal altercations. And I actually messed up my recruiting going into my senior year. And then after that, I was fortunate enough to get offers back, not at the D1A level, but at D1 AA. So then it came down between Towson, Villanova, Rhode Island, of course, and William & Mary. And I ended up going to Rhode Island. I took my visit, and it was beautiful. It was something I just wasn't used to as a kid growing up in New Jersey. I just see the natural topography, the ocean, and just the natural resources. So when my family and I came up here, it was just amazing. And something about it just led me to commit here. Jim Fleming, he's a smooth talker. He is a good coach. He got me to get up here, and then I don't regret anything about it. I mean, I love my decision. And moving forward, I've been here for the past 6 years.
So let me ask, again, you had a lot of offers on the table, but Was there one thing that stood out about URI? You mentioned a couple of things that, just made you want to come here. This was the place for you.
On the surface, it would just look so beautiful. I just felt at peace when I came here. They had us near the ocean, and I actually live near the ocean right now. And I just felt calm. I just felt one with the, just the natural resources. But also from a football perspective, they offered me as athlete. So that was interesting because other schools either wanted me, majority of schools wanted me at linebacker, and a few wanted me at running back. No, a lot wanted me at running back as well. But they offered me here as athlete, so I felt I had more leeway to go whichever side I wanted to go. So from a football standpoint, that's what led me here.
Mm-hmm. And that's pretty interesting because there aren't many players that get the opportunity to play on both sides of the ball at the college level. And for you to be a great player on both sides of the ball, talk us a little bit about what the biggest differences are between playing offense and defense, and the challenges to adjust, starting off on the defensive side and then coming over to play offense.
That's a good question. Even though defense, you're reacting, I felt more natural instinct at playing when I played defense. When the ball is hiked, I just felt like just go. Don't wait, just go. And offense, even though the defense is supposed to react to the offense, I felt like I had to calculate much more playing offense. Whether they're bringing blitzes or I have a route to get out on, or if the nose tackle spikes inside, I have to, I felt like it was a lot more to prepare for on the offensive side of the ball. Mm-hmm. So that was a big adjustment at the college level because, the speed is crazy compared to high school. So,
unreal.
Yeah, definitely. So that was a big adjustment for me. Coming over from defense to offense, I definitely had to assimilate. It was hard to transition at first because when I came here, they moved me about my third year. So it was 4 years since I played running back. And I was so used to just hitting people every play. And I was just, as soon as I would get the ball, I would look for contact actually. And on offense, I had to learn again over time that you don't want to just run into defenders. You want to evade. You want to get to the sideline, get downhill, and find a hole, and by any means get to the end zone. So that was hard. I had to get back to playing my game, and it took a little time, but I feel like I've gotten back to it, and it's starting to show even more now.
What's interesting on the offensive level, I know Coach Wheeler talks to the offensive line a lot about what is the running back seeing, what is their responsibility when they're getting the ball on inside zone, what are they looking at? And really offense, when you're in the offensive backfield, I feel like a lot of it is about patience and waiting for, the hole to develop up front, give the offensive line a little bit of time to work, make the crevice, make their blocks and open up a lane, and then let the running back create. In a sense, you know what I'm trying to say? And it's really interesting when Coach Wheeler, hints that on us because, we understand now about how, each position works and the full schematic of the play. And I just wanted to bring that up just because it's something that, I feel like we don't give the running backs a lot of credit for, but there's a lot more in the mind. Mm-hmm. I mean, more than just running the ball.
That's a great point, Mo, because, like you said, like create. I like how you use the word create, because when I came back over to offense, I felt like I was too technical. I was such a robot. Like, okay, it's supposed to hit right here, go right there, do this. I feel like I lost a sense of myself, especially after, we'll probably get into this in a little later, but especially after my injuries and position changes and, going adversity, my mind, I wasn't as confident. Mm-hmm. So when I had to get back adjusted to my playing style, especially playing offense, at the end of the day, you have to play your game, and coaches can coach you all you want, but at the end of the day, you put down what you put on canvas. And obviously that means film to people, but like you put what you want out there by painting pictures. So that, I like how you said create, like you see it, and now it's your turn to make it happen.
Exactly.
I feel like the running back position it's one of the more crafty positions, like you mentioned, create. You're able to kind of just do whatever you want. You talk about how you played linebacker and you're told to just contact, hit people. But with running back, I feel like no matter how you get the ball down the field, you have the same goal. It's just how you do it.
Exactly, for sure.
There's so many different options, and you talked about your injuries. Walk us through, what that is like. What the different injuries that you've had, and the recovery process. Between different injuries, and are they similar? Is the mental process the same? You know what I mean? Because
Right.
obviously the physical recovery is going to be different, from a knee to a shoulder, to anything else, to an ankle. Um, but really I feel like it's the mental piece, because the bones will heal. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's the mind that really needs to adjust, I feel like, the most.
For sure. No, that's see the injury portion is it's pretty long, It's pretty long, but
Those in the training room every single day.
I definitely, yeah. So it all started. I started having problems, like serious problems, my senior year in high school. I ran track, and as I was a big guy in high school, I was similarly this like same weight, but I wasn't fully muscled. So I was about 210 to
Chunky.
215.
Real.
Yeah, a little chunky, a little baby weight, but I was a big guy in high school, around 210 to 215 consistently. And I ran track. I did the traditional races that a football player does, 100, 200 relays. But what I also did for the first time, because my brother did it, I jumped. A long jump, high jump, triple jump. And for those of you who don't know, that's a lot of impact on the ankle, on the knees, the joints. So towards the tail end of my high school career, I started having a lot of knee pain, a lot of knee pain. I actually jumped in the wrong spikes, would put even more pressure on my tendons and bones. And before I came to high school, I got checked, both my knees, and I actually had a significant patella tendon tear in one of my knees, and I had a slight tear in the other one. And it was really concerning. I had to take a lot of time off. Um, I actually kept it on the low because I didn't want it to affect Rhode Island recruiting me. So I committed. I came here my freshman year, trying to tolerate the pain. I did not redshirt. I was second string safety, got some time in at versus Syracuse. And in the second game against Albany, kick return, I running downfield, made a great block, but then another person got caught up under me. And I actually ended up tearing my PCL in my left leg, and I had a even worse tear, and I re-aggravated the tear in my left knee from the patella tendon. So I ended up redshirting that year after the second game. The following year, I'm at the safety spot. I'm feeling good. No, I'm at outside linebacker actually, starting against Kansas. The opening kickoff, I actually tear my right MCL, grade 2 MCL tear. First kickoff of the season. So that was devastating. I missed about 7, 8 games that season, and I came back and actually finished the season starting. And third year, as my first year at running back, I another special teams play, kickoff return. I actually got the return, I think, and I ended up breaking my entire shoulder, left shoulder, labrum tear, clavicle break, AC joint separation, everything. So that was devastating. 3 years in a row. Now, fourth year, I just had a concussion, missed a few games, so that wasn't too bad. But I missed some significant time. I actually separated my other AC joint that year as well. Missed about half the season, and then last year, I ended up tearing my other PCL, my other knee, and had a slight calf tear. So it's been a long road, man. So, but the bounce back is always new. Regardless if it's the same injury or what, it's a different path you take. It's a different narrative each time. I remember the first time I had my knee injury, I wasn't devastated. I was like, it's okay. Like everything happens for a reason. I'll bounce back, become even stronger. The MCL one, that's first kickoff of my second year, I was asking like, why? Like, why is this happening? I didn't even get a chance to display my talents in full. It's really hindering me. The third year in a row, I wanted to give up. No one really knows that. Not many people know that I really wanted to give up. And I got to a dark place. I was probably depressed. I didn't talk to many people about it. I was going through a hard time, and it was hard to assimilate. It was probably my worst GPA in college. I usually I have a great grade point average, like 3.5 and 4.0s most time. I didn't have a great academic year that year, and it was tough, you know. But then I took some time, you know, I talked to the right people, and I decided to. I've come too far to come this far, you
Hmm.
know. I had to keep persevering, keep pushing through. Adversity is nothing, you know. We face adversity every day. So then that time, the table shifted, and the following year and the next year, I've just been more motivated ever since. It's just another barrier to access, but these barriers make the reward that much better. So regardless if it was a shoulder, whether it was a calf, a knee, it all that it all made me better in the long run, and all
Hmm.
motivated me to be better each and every day. And it also showed me that football is such a small part of life that after you take off the pads, you have so much more to look forward to and to do. And that's why I try to it's inspire people, because I remember a great quote one of my coaches told me. He said, "Great people or great players aren't just good at what they play; they're great at everything they do because it's a way of life."
Hmm.
So that stuck with me a lot, especially during times of adversity. I'm like, it's just another bump in the road. We can find a way to get through it.
Exactly. You never want to try to go around the problem. You want to go right through it.
For
And
sure.
Coach Murph this week after one of our practices, after a rough day, he was talking about adversity to us, and I think that stuck with me a lot, just purely because he was like, things happen. You know what I mean? This is football. I mean, if the defense throws a blitz at you, you don't know how to block. That's not even that big of a deal, because there are things out there that are going to happen to you that are way more catastrophic. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to die in your life. You're going to get, laid off from a job. Things are going to happen. You know, this is a good way to learn about adversity and how to fight through it. And I
Right.
think football, as athletes and as football players, this is one of the best ways to get, trained for life and your
Hmm.
life after football. So, adversity is huge, and injuries are part of the game. I mean,
Right.
it's sad to say, but it's just part of what happens, man. So, and the next thing I want to talk about is, so now you're coming into your 6th year at URI.
Hmm.
Do you feel different? You know what I mean? You have a lot of years of college under you. You have a lot of experience of football. Is this a different feel? And within the locker room or within the team, is it a different feel?
No, it's definitely a different feel. Um, it's different in the sense because it's not only a leadership role, because I've been a leader in the past, whether it was last year or the year before.
Hmm.
Even when I was younger, in undergrad, I've always been a leader, and people always want or seek advice from me. But this year is a lot different. It's because, like you said, I don't just have football experience; I have actual life experience. So we have a whole new generation of guys coming up. You know, these are a whole bunch of 2000 and up babies.
Exactly.
So these guys, they come to me, and like they don't just come for advice. They come to feel supported. And when I'm out there on the field, I know I have an impact even when the ball's not in my hands. So when things hit the fan, who do they look to? They look to number 4. Or when they have a problem off field, who do they look to? They look to number 4. If they need a ride or anything, they're calling number 4, and that feels really good to know that they trust in me that much to be their immediate call. They call me before they call the coaches, and yeah, it's an old head thing, but it's also a mature thing, because I've been in those instances they've been in, and I wish I had somebody like that that can communicate or reach out to me if I was in this position. So that's what the biggest feel is. It just feels, just the veteran status,
Exactly, man. You're becoming, you're just old. You're older. You know what I mean? You have that season. You have that flavor to you, man. And you're
Hmm.
a guy that can answer the call. Answer the bell when it's rung. So that's
Sure.
something that as a younger guy that has looked up to you. Not only as a friend, somebody that we hang out off the field, but just somebody that's a motivator. A guy that shows you the right way to do things. I feel like there's a time in football, that there are 2 roads you can take. There are the guys that, love to be there and they do the things the right way. And then there are guys that are there just to be there, and what kind of happens. But you've definitely instilled, I feel like, into us, especially this younger group, and the coaches have started to really instill that, you dictate what happens. This is our team. This is the players' team. This isn't the coach's team. This is our team. We support each other. We are there for each other. And we really have, the ability to captain the ship.
Right.
In a sense, you know what I mean? And, really the sky's the limit. Whatever direction we want to go, we can go in. And, in years past, do you think that that our team now is a little bit more, self-supported, from the inside? Do you ever think about that or feel that way?
I think this team is far more self-supported than teams in the past. And that's not discrediting any leadership in the past. I've been around great leaders since I've been here. The list goes on. I'm not going to list them. But even with great leaders, I feel like the difference between now and other great leaders that they've had is like sometimes the way that they led from the self-support wasn't always, everyone didn't see eye to eye, and that comes with experience over time. Like you can be a great leader, but you have to learn how to lead certain people a certain way because everyone cannot be led the same, And I feel like on this team, we have an abundance of leaders, older, younger, different position groups, it doesn't matter. And everyone is leading a different way, but we're all in the same accord. So if everyone can, if they don't understand what I'm trying to pitch to them, they can go to Ivory and understand and hear it and feel it a different way. He may relate in some ways to that person that I can't. And that's the beauty of it, of when you have a team that's interconnected like this and interdependent. So we all trust in one another, and we know we won't steer each other the wrong way. And these young guys, I love this young class. I do. Like we have some knuckleheads every year, but these guys want to be led and they want to be pushed in the right way. Previous years, a lot of people, they rebel. They want to hear what they want to hear. But here, these guys actually want to hear the truth. And that's where great players and great teams are formed. So
I think it's interesting that you talk about how football really just teaches you life skills and being a leader. But specifically going back to your injuries and getting back to that form, I think so many people look up to you, a lot of these younger players, and you show them, that you get knocked down, you have these injuries, but you come back and you always come back because you share your experiences. You've been through the dark times, you've been through the injuries, but, younger players looking up to you, they may go through similar experiences or the same thing, but they'll always come back.
Right, for sure. And just to add to that, not to toot my own horn, I've performed in the classroom. I've performed on the offensive side of the ball, and I performed defense side of the ball, special teams, wherever. But out of everything, like you said, those younger guys respect me more from what I've bounced back from rather than what I've put on the field or in the class. They respect me from getting up and coming back for the 6th year, chasing a dream, and won't be denied or deterred from what I've been training for my whole life. So I feel like that's a key point that you just made.
And now as we look forward, man, we're going to go into a spring season, uncharted territory, obviously, and then, working towards, the fall. But for you on this end, the spring is guaranteed. And then from there, we don't really know what's going to happen with you. So, for
Right.
you, what are your main goals for the spring? And then, what are the steps in the foreseeable future? What I mean? What do you see next? And, what do you want, I guess, want to happen, but, what are you feeling, I guess, in that sense?
Okay. So my goals for the season, I always have individual goals, but this year I'll probably have the more team goals than any other year. Obviously I want as many touchdowns can be. I want as many yards can be. I want to break every record, but it's not even that. I want to be as efficient as possible. But my big goals, I wanted to lead this team regardless, just lead them the right way. Wanted to be a captain. I wanted to give URI their first playoff berth in so how many years. I don't remember the last time, but I wanted to lead them to the playoffs. and obviously a conference championship.
Mhm.
Those are my 4 big goals aside from my individual goals that I've really been honing in on. So that's really that's what I've been fixated on recently. And the steps for the future, after this season, like you said, uncharted territory. This is new to us. This is unfamiliar, unprecedented times. So I don't really know what's gonna happen next fall, but in an ideal world, after these next 6 games or so, I would love to have a great season, have an opportunity for the NFL, whether that is a pro day with scouts there, wherever it may be. The bowl games and the combines, those have passed because in the spring. But have an opportunity to showcase my talents for the next level. And wherever football is said and done, whether I have an opportunity, have some tryouts or not, I just want to be able to say that I gave it my all. I prepared for X amount of time and laid it all out there and let God navigate where I go from there. And for life after football, I haven't said it, but I'm in a grad degree in public administration. I've been looking to be either a liaison or a political analyst, a little bit different, but all in politics and government realm.
Mm-hmm.
And over time, I will want to formulate my own security team, whether it be in the Washington district or for celebrities or, wherever it may be. I see myself in not armed forces, but protection and also giving back and making a bridge for the community. That's why I said political analyst. I want to be that bridge between inner cities and the higher ups in the government to make sure everyone has as close it can be between fair opportunity and the resources they need to be successful.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
is this, when you were growing up, besides being a pro football player, I think that every kid that plays sports has a dream of being a pro athlete. Was politics, was government kind of a theme in your head? Was like, man, if I can't play, is this the road that I'd like to go down?
politics specifically, no, it wasn't. Politics specifically came in from college. I don't know, over time, I think with my major, my undergrad in criminology, sociology, and then going as the MPA program over the MBA program, it just started to fall in place. It's one of those things you can't explain, The ducks just aligned and it happened. So my dad used to always tell me, like, you're bigger than football. Like, yeah, I know you can make it. You can make it, and that's your dream, but don't forget, you can own a team rather than play for a team.
Mm-hmm.
So then once he instilled that in my head, I always thought business. I always thought politics bigger than just the physical, So when it came to this, it just started to align, and my mentality and my mindset being savvy, I always thought I can do this. And, it's new to me. No one in my family does this. I have police officers, chiefs of police, but no one's really in government politics. So, this is really interesting to me. So it's kind of new,
It is. And I feel that as athletes, people don't always see that there's another mind, I think, behind the athletic mind.
For sure.
I mean, I think about our locker room all the time, man. You got, Evan, Sevi, you got guys that are talking about hunting and fishing, and, you got guys that are talking about trading stocks, and, you got kids over here talking about this, kids over here talking about music, and, the diversity, I feel like that our locker room presents, and that locker rooms across sports present, not just ours. I think that's what motivates one another almost. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of just get interested in one little thing that somebody might have said to you, or just, just by talking to another person and be like, man, they're into that. I want to, try to dip into that, see what I can get out of it. And, I feel like that's where, the relationships are born, and, those are where the dreams and the passions are born. So, I think we have a really good locker room at Rhode Island, and we have some really good people. Not just football players. We have really good people, and I think that's what's most important. Sorry, I can't fucking speak. But got a couple last second questions for you. This is more, your favorites, this or that. Okay, what is your favorite chicken wing?
Oh my gosh.
What flavor? So I know that we consistently eat chicken wings together. I don't know if you found out a theme yet.
I'm about to shake the game up. First of all, I'm a flats boy. I'm a flats baby.
I know
So
that.
all flats, and I like dry rubbed actually.
Okay.
Dry rub, those are good.
Oh man, and secondly, I think one thing we eat together is pizza. Also, I know that we came across eating pizza a couple of times together. What is your favorite pizza? And what about pizza style? Do you like a deep dish style? Do you like the New York style? You like a little flop in the pizza?
Nah, I like. Well, first of all, I'm gonna say pineapple is accepted on pizza. I'm gonna just throw that out there.
Okay.
Pineapple is accepted on pizza. I'm not gonna say it belongs, but it's accepted. I love deep dish, but I think I'm just gonna go with a classic pepperoni thin crust.
Okay.
That's one of my favorites. Little different.
I can see you walking through the streets in New York, eating a nice little pepperoni. It's cold day out. You got your pepperoni pizza in your hand. You're headed to some pizza store, man.
I need a little crunch to it.
There we go, man. So, I mean, that's all I got for you. Adam, you got any other questions you want to throw at Zoe?
Yeah, I got 2 more questions actually. So first I'll ask, what advice could you give to athletes, whether that be life advice or just looking to go and play at the collegiate or professional level?
Well, in general, just never give up. Never give up. Your life can change in 1 year. You never lose until you quit. It's always a possibility. I don't care if your goal is to go make the high school team, make the college team, or NFL. Until you give up, you always have an opportunity. So keep pushing. Dark days will be over soon. It doesn't last forever.
My last question is, if you could choose one or so memory, you've had a long career here at URI. Just your favorite or best memory from playing here at URI?
Oh man, that's tough. That is actually a really tough question. I'm just gonna say, from a football standpoint, the season, our best season to date, most recently, our 6-5 season, the time that we beat Delaware on the road, and the clock winds out, and we all just stormed the field on their new turf, and that was a change of the tides. That year, we went from winning one game, 1-11 each year, and now breaking 500 for the first time. So I always remember that when we talk about greatest memory from our football team.
Mm-hmm. There it is, everybody. That's Zoe Bryant for you. Number 4 on the field, number 1 in your heart. He acts like that all the time, baby.
You know it.
So, thank you, Zoe, for your time. We really appreciate it. And we got a big scrimmage tomorrow, so let's go ball out.
Yes, sir. We're going to go take it right to the defense. You already know how we go, Mo.
Of course, we do. We run veer, right down their throat, baby. We do. We kick ass. Well, thank you, everybody. That's episode 13 of the Rhody Rumble. And check back for the next episode. Thank you, Zoe. Adam.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
See ya.
I've been on top for a while. NASA chip it to the moon. Fast car make gon' vroom vroom. Take it to the boom boom room. I'm a visionary. I got the niggas scared. Bought a big paddock with a brand new wrist set it. Inside the new Maybach coupe, peanut butter jelly.